people are going to think that some of this is embarrassing because we're going to be doing it out in the city of Kingston, right in front of the neighborhood in the morning before you get started. Most of the people here are used to it, but I'm just telling you, you got to break through the embarrassment because it's good for us, it's good for our bodies, and it's a long-term thing to help the health of all of us. So we're going to start up with what I call the windmill. This is a warm-up. We're warming up the upper body of our bodies, and we usually do it for a count to 20. You don't have to do it really hard, but if you do it really hard, like I'm kind of doing it kind of hard now, I'm flexing back, and I am starting to get, I can feel the heat building. All right? Another one we do is I call it Hail to the Chief to remind myself of it. That's not what it's called, but I go like this. I'm not going to bend Hail to the Chief. Down and one rotation forward. Back up, reach up, down, rotation forward. Up. We do this for a count to 10. And we're getting the blood flowing. Some of you can feel it. Some of you are hitting each other with your arms. I can see that. Eric, can I just hit? Yep, some of you need some room. These warm-ups are recommended. They're not required. They're ideas that I want to put forth to you today to explain to you that it is important that you warm up before you do the stretching because your muscles are cold. But you don't have to do it. But there's some really good, easy to understand ones to do for warm-up. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do as our required flex and stretch that we do every morning in our office and on every job site in our shop and yard is we're going to stretch our neck. And this is the neck is a very sensitive thing to stretch, so we got to be very careful about it. And we're supposed to keep our head neutral, not down, because some people can stretch down, not up, because there's potential injury doing that to go up or down. It's neutral, and you're pushing straight back, and some people don't feel hardly anything. But if you focus on that, and actually, if you wanted to put your hand back there, you can feel the muscle that you're stretching when you're doing that. And it's a count of 10. We hold it for a count of 10. And push nice and steady so you feel somewhat of a stretch, but you're not going to feel a lot. We don't want you to feel a lot with that one. Okay, the next one you're doing, number 2, is a head tilt. What we're doing is you're putting one hand up on the shoulder like this, then you're taking your arm that's down and you're bending your palm upward so you can feel a stretch, and then you're tilting your head the opposite way from that stretch. And what you're feeling is another neck stretch. And you're also feeling a stretch in your arm. And you hold that for a count of 10. And don't do a real hard stretch. Don't push it real hard. We just want you to feel a nice gentle stretch. And you hold that for a count of 10. All right. Then you switch arms. Pointing that palm upward. And then tilting your head away. And once again, you're feeling that in your neck. So what we did earlier is we pushed our neck backwards with the first stretch that we did. Now we're doing the sideward stretch for our neck and also stretching our arm at the same time. Next thing we're going to do is shoulder roll. We're going to warm our shoulders up. We roll our shoulders forward. Leave your arms nice and low. We're doing for a count of 5 going forward. And then we reverse. We do 5 backwards. Next one we're going to do is a shoulder stretch. We're putting our one arm across our body. Very good work. And then we do the other side. Shoulder stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're doing a tricep stretch. And we're doing this one for a count of 10. What we're doing is we're pulling down on our elbow and we're stretching that tricep for a count of 10. Nice steady stretch. You can pull as hard as you need to get a nice steady stretch, but don't pull so hard that you're hurting yourself or that you feel pain. You don't want to feel pain. You want to feel a little bit of stretch. It's like with a lot of these stretches, some people can have injuries, and they should only do what limited movement they can do to do this, and when they start to feel a little pain, back off. Some people have structural issues in their body with a joint, with a tendon or a ligament. That's not, I guess that'd be structural. They can't do some of these, so they just go nice and easy. Okay, the next one is upper back stretch. There's a lot of confusion on this one. And before we start, I'm going to show you what the confusion is. We were told by a doctor that came in our office that we can do it like this, kind of like hugging a tree. But I want to show you what happens when I do that. I'm doing that, and I'm pushing out. I feel tightness in my back, not a stretch. But what we're supposed to do is put our arms like that. And I want to, before you do it, watch. Now look how far apart my arms are when I do that. They must be 18 inches. Look what happens when I do that. My arms are only like 9 inches apart. So you put your arms with your palm, with your hands and palms facing outward, and you don't have to lock your fingers. You want to have that looseness, and you want to broaden those shoulder blades out. And you don't want to put a lot of stress here, because we can all make it be like tight, like, okay, I'm building muscle back there. It's a loose thing. You just want to feel looseness, and it's a count of 10. All right, the next one we're going to do is a lateral stretch. And this one, there's some confusion on it also. That we were told by the same doctor 3 years ago to reach up, straight up. Yet, what we're supposed to be doing, which is written by the doctor that created this, is we're supposed to be arcing a little bit. Then you switch sides, same thing. Next thing we're going to do is the hamstring stretch. Okay, the hamstring, it is the back leg that you're going to brace off of. And the front leg, what you're doing is you're pointing your toe upward back towards your body. And it says hamstring, but I feel more in my calf, and there is some in the hamstring. But I think a lot of times what's going on is our calves are so tight, because we don't stretch our calves very much, that we do feel that. We feel the tightness in our calf, so it's a hamstring stretch, and it's also a bonus because it gives you a calf stretch too. And that's for a count of 10. Now, on to the quad stretch. This is the one where we're bracing on the front leg, and on the back leg, our toe is mounted or affixed to the floor or braced on the floor, and we want our body like straight up and down, and when it's straight up and down, you can feel that stretch on that quad. And the quad is a little bit tight, so this is part dynamic stretch and a little bit static, but you're feeling that get tight and you're stretching it out. Same thing on the other leg. When you lean forward, you really don't feel it, but when your body goes vertical like it's supposed to, that's when you really feel it for a count of 10. So some of these we haven't been doing correctly. Did you feel that one? Like you never felt it before, and it's only because you straighten your body up. Okay, the next one is the wrist extension, one wrist at a time. We're bending our wrist back and pulling back with as much force as we can to ensure we feel the light stretch for a count of 10. Other wrist. Pulling back, nice gentle stretch. We got a little heat up here. We're a little bit higher elevation here, I can feel it. Okay, now we got the forearm stretch. There's a technique to this. You're putting your arms out, and you're making fists down, and then you're twisting in that order. And that's what gives you that stretch. If you just simply go right out to what I just showed you in one motion, you won't feel that stretch. And you count for 10. And we're holding these for 10 seconds. Okay? Last one we do is a finger stretch. You're putting your arms straight out in front of you, and you're holding your fingers out straight, and you're attempting to get space in between your fingers. A lot of us can feel that stretch. You can feel that. It's hard to get pain unless you have some kind of injury, but it's a good stretch. Okay? So that's it for flex and stretch.